Hello, everyone, and welcome to Avis Networks podcast series. I'm your host, Shruti Jha, and today we are focusing on how open networking, especially SONiC, is reshaping higher education networks. Joining me is Cody McCain, Director of Product Management at Avis Networks. Cody's background is truly unique, a physicist turned networking and cybersecurity expert. Over the past 20 years, he's worked at JP Morgan, Chase, Intel, Cisco, and much more. His contributions include securing $11 trillion in daily transactions transiting the network, building mission critical CNI technologies for enterprise and telco, and optimizing Kubernetes and container security at massive scale. Cody, we are thrilled to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Shruti. Glad to be here.
Now, we have been hearing a lot from our university and college listeners about networking challenges and emerging solutions like SONiC. Cody, let's dive into their top queries. So, campuses they face unique networking challenges from massive bring your own device environments, compliance mandates, mobility demands, and unpredictable scale. How does SONiC, together with Avis's solution, help institutions address these real world education network challenges?
Well, Shruti, the academy traditionally has been the place to go for open thinking, innovation, exploring new ideas. And the SONiC ecosystem really is the place that provides true multi-vendor, open hardware freedom that allows these ideas to and innovation to be experienced and used operationally by institutions around the world. Across this ecosystem of choice, SONiC provides a unified network operating system and a unified management experience, whether you're, administering the leaf, the core, or all the way to the aggregation without locking you into any specific vendor chassis, line card, or other constraint that you might get with a traditional vendor. Now, Avis and our Ones platforms have evolved from our deep experience in managing support for very large retail and service providers. And we have done this, on an everyday basis. We have both the technical engineering expertise as well as real-world operational experience to help very large institutions make the jump into the freedom and open source network operating system and an ecosystem like SONiC provides.
So now coming to the most important question, budget, right? Cost and budget is always a very important aspect, right? So budgets are tight across higher education, yet expectation for performance, reliability, and security is higher than ever. How can open source SONiC combined with vendor neutral hardware help institutions reduce cost while still maintaining high performance, secure networks?
Yeah, I think we all understand that we have to do a lot more with a lot less. And the key with the SONiC ecosystem is we have a multi-vendor approach. When you bring in multiple vendors, you bring in competition. And traditionally, we can see a dramatic CapEx reduction anywhere from 40 to 70% lower than you would pay with a traditional vendor. Now, institutions also have the freedom to buy exactly the port speeds and the densities they need. One vendor doesn't have the particular configuration you want, you can go with another vendor. SONiC supports a very heterogeneous network interconnectivity. And if you combine that with near zero license and software costs, institutions only need to pay for support and hardware. But just because you pay less doesn't mean that you have to give up on features or quality. SONiC provides industry standard support for all the key protocols and telemetry, enables automation, the things that you need to do in your network. And additionally, it can provide a more solid security and compliance posture and often better performance. If you combine all of this with an open ecosystem, one can see how SONiC is a win-win all around.
Now coming to the second most important topic, right? Support. Educational IT teams, they are often small, but responsible for everything: student connectivity, research workloads, hybrid learning, remote access, security, and more. How do Avis's solution from AI-powered observability to compliance automation support these teams and simplify operations?
Yeah, the Avis team quite frankly, is a super concentrated set of expertise. The entire team is built around this expertise, and every member has deep career experience in both building and supporting very large scale networks. And we're also a leading independent contributor to the core SONiC open source project and an innovator in AI to simplify and accelerate network operations. So I think you would be really hard pressed to find a more qualified team to stand behind your mission critical network. As one example of how we are leading innovation, Avis has built an extensible AI network copilot that turns every user into a subject matter expert across your networking, observability, support, and security stack. We not only put AI ops into the hands of our customers, but we're using the same tools internally to provide managed support to our largest customers. And when we say we stand behind our software, we mean that quite literally, as one of our ones and Network Copilot products, they drive our mission critical support teams daily.
So for institutions which are looking to test SONiC, it really helps to understand where to begin, right? Which higher ed use case are ideal to evaluate in PlugFest, such as DOM backbone network, research cluster, hybrid learning system, or bring your own device heavy lecture halls?
Yeah, the university has a really diverse set of use cases, right? You're involved in advanced research. You've got to provide connectivity, as you said, to dorms and lecture halls and classrooms. You've got to, deal with all of the challenges of bring your own device with students and staff. These are all great use cases. And SONiC is enabling multi-vendor solutions that span, I think both the high performance computing need and core data center needs, all the way to the campus needs, where we need to extend that connectivity up to the dorms and the classrooms. You're going to get the diversity of matching the hardware to the use case, right? So for your advanced research and data center needs, you get the hardware that makes the most sense there. And for the campus needs, you get the hardware that makes the most sense there. And when you do that, you don't have to sacrifice, again, having a uniform way to manage and operate that network. SONiC scales and is tooled for a wide variety of use cases. And when it comes to actually putting those use cases to the test, PlugFest is the exact right place to propose your most challenging use cases, from training AI models to providing real-time communications. We want to learn about what barriers that you're currently facing that you need us to help you knock down.
So now coming to the final question. For an educational institution considering SONiC, guidance is the key. Corey, what is the recommended path for universities to begin testing, validating, and eventually deploying SONiC, especially with PlugFest as a starting point?
Yeah, I mean, PlugFest results, I think, are going to provide you an initial boost to the research and the effort that you're going to take anyways to understand how SONiC is going to fit into your networking strategy. It's almost like you've got the quick start of all the answers that you need that may have taken weeks to months to get through a traditional POC process. And I really think the best part of PlugFest is that you're going to gain insights into essentially what I call the unknown unknowns, because PlugFest brings together the most experienced network warriors that I guarantee most likely have already faced some of the issues plaguing you today. And once you realize that SONiC has everything that you need to meet the the technology, performance, scalability, and operational needs of your organization, it's also really important to pick a support partner that gives you the same level of comfort that your proprietary vendor previously provided, but across a really diverse and open network space full of options and innovation. And I think Avis is clearly positioned as not only full of top SME talent, but also the operational scars to know how to keep critical infrastructure up and running. I'd be happy to schedule time with you after PlugFest to dive deeper into any specific needs that you have.
So, Gauri, thank you for walking us through these important considerations for universities and colleges. It's clear that SONiC, and open networking can offer institutions a powerful combination of performance, cost savings, and operational flexibility. For our university and college listeners, if you're exploring SONiC and how SONiC could fit into your education network strategy, PlugFest is a great place to start. Testing kicks off on January 5th, and the results will be presented in the PlugFest Readout webinar on January 15th.
Really, please don't miss this opportunity to register for PlugFest. I think you're going to find the community of support and the vast amount of information you're going to be able to absorb and learn as something that can really propel your effort to adopt SONiC and to move into this open ecosystem and open networking that it provides. We hope to see you there.
Don't forget to register. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you at PlugFest.